What if I told you that some of the most magnetic, unforgettable women I have ever met were not the youngest in the room, but the ones who had lived the longest? They are the women whose presence turns heads, not because of flawless skin or trendy outfits, but because of something much deeper, something you feel before they even speak, a quiet power, a graceful warmth, a glow that only comes from a life fully lived. This video is not about anti-aging. It is not about hiding the years or trying to look like your younger self. No, this is about embracing the remarkable, radiant qualities that become stronger as you grow older. This is about what truly makes a woman attractive, not just at first glance, but in a way that stays with people long after she leaves the room. Today, I am going to walk you through 8 timeless qualities that make older women irresistibly magnetic. Qualities that cannot be bought or faked, because they are built through experience, through resilience, and through the kind of wisdom that only time can give you. And here is the beautiful truth. These qualities, you already have them. Maybe they just need a gentle reminder, a mirror held up with love and honesty to help you see what the world sees, even if you have forgotten for a moment. So stay with me, not only because you will recognize yourself in the stories I'm about to tell, but because the final point I share with you might completely shift how you see yourself the next time you look in the mirror. You're not invisible. You're not past your prime. You're just getting started. And the best parts of your beauty may be the ones that have nothing to do with age at all. 1. The art of carrying yourself with elegance. Let's start with something that people notice before they even realize they are noticing it: the way you carry yourself. There is a kind of quiet power in a woman who walks into a room with poise, not flashy, not loud, just calm, collected, and confident in her own skin. She does not need to demand attention. Her presence invites it. Elegance is not about being perfect. It is not about expensive clothes, a fancy haircut, or saying all the right things. True elegance has nothing to do with your bank account, and everything to do with how you make people feel. It shows up in how you move, how you sit, how you listen, how you speak. Not to impress, but to connect. You know that feeling when someone is really listening to you? When they are not rushing you, not checking their phone, just fully present? That is elegance. That is grace in motion. And here is the truth. Elegance becomes more powerful with age, not less. Because as you grow older, you begin to care less about trying to prove yourself, and more about being true to who you are. Your posture tells a story. When you stand tall, with your shoulders relaxed and your chin gently lifted, you're telling the world, I know who I am, and I like her. Even your silence can be elegant. The way you pause before responding, the way you hold space in a conversation, the way you walk into a room without needing to fill it with noise, just your steady, kind presence. And let me be clear, elegance is not about being soft or passive. It is about being intentional, about choosing calm over chaos, about bringing a sense of peace wherever you go. When you carry yourself with elegance, you're not just being attractive, you are being unforgettable. And that is something no number of beauty products or social media filters can ever replicate. So I want you to ask yourself, not, how do I look today? But instead, how do I carry myself today? Because the answer to that question can shape how the world sees you and how you see yourself. 2. Curiosity. The spark that keeps you radiant. Let me tell you something that might surprise you. One of the most attractive qualities in any woman, especially as she grows older, is curiosity. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Isn't curiosity something for kids? For students? For the young? Not at all. In fact, curiosity is what keeps your spirit young, even when your bones feel a little older. When a woman still has questions, still has wonder in her heart, still finds joy in learning something new, she glows differently. Curiosity keeps your mind sharp, your heart open, and your conversations rich. It makes you more interesting and more interested, which is a powerful combination. Have you ever talked with someone who was genuinely fascinated by life? Someone who still lights up when they talk about a new book they are reading, or a recipe they just discovered, or a culture they are exploring? It is contagious. You feel it, and it makes you want to be around them more. That is the beauty of curiosity. It is not about being an expert. It is about being engaged. You do not have to travel across the world or go back to school to stay curious. You can start small. Ask your grandchild to show you their favorite song. Watch a documentary on a topic you have never explored. Try painting or planting herbs, or writing a memory from your childhood, just for yourself. Every time you try something new, you are reminding yourself, and everyone around you, that you are still growing, still blooming, still fully alive. And here is something worth knowing. Research shows that staying curious can actually help protect your brain as you age. People who continue to learn and explore tend to have better mental health, greater life satisfaction, and even lower rates of cognitive decline. So curiosity is not just attractive, it is healing. And more than that, it is a statement. It says, I am not done yet. I still want to know. I still want to feel. I still want to live. So go ahead, ask questions, explore ideas, try new things. Be the woman who still has that spark. Because when you stay curious, you are not just keeping your mind active, you are showing the world that your soul is still wide open. 3. A kind heart, stronger than any youth serum. Let's talk about something that never goes out of style. Kindness. Not the kind you perform for praise, not the kind you offer just to be polite. I mean real, honest, heartfelt kindness. The kind that comes from someone who has lived enough to understand what others might be going through, even without them saying a word. There is nothing more attractive than a kind heart. Nothing. Because people remember how you make them feel, long after they have forgotten what you wore or what you said. And here is the truth. Kindness is not weakness. In fact, it takes tremendous strength to remain kind in a world that can sometimes be cold or unfair, especially when you have experienced your own share of pain. But that is what makes kindness so powerful. When it comes from someone who has seen hard times and chooses to stay open-hearted, that is a beauty no mirror can reflect. Kindness shows up in small ways. A warm hello to a stranger. A thoughtful note to a friend. Choosing patience when someone else is short with you. Holding the door, sharing a memory, calling someone just to say, I was thinking of you. These things may seem simple, but they ripple out farther than you know. And here is something fascinating. Studies show that acts of kindness release a hormone in your brain called oxytocin. It is often called the love hormone or the connection hormone. It lowers stress, strengthens your heart, and helps you feel more bonded to the people around you. That means kindness is not just good for the world, it is good for you. And as an older woman, your kindness carries even more weight because people know it comes from a place of experience. You're not kind because you have had it easy. You're kind because you have been through it and you understand. That kind of compassion is rare and deeply magnetic. So if you ever wonder whether you are still attractive, ask yourself this instead. Am I making someone feel seen today? Am I making someone feel safe? Am I making someone feel valued? Because those are the things people remember. Those are the things that last. And that kind of beauty only grows with time. 4. A strong sense of purpose. There is something deeply magnetic about a woman who wakes up in the morning with a sense of purpose. Not because she has to, not because someone expects her to, but because she chooses to. You can feel it in her energy, in the way she carries herself, in the quiet certainty of her voice. It is not about being busy or having a packed calendar. It is about living with intention. Purpose does not have to be some grand public mission. You do not have to run a nonprofit or travel the world to make your life meaningful. In fact, the most powerful sense of purpose often shows up in the small, everyday things that others overlook. Maybe your purpose is being the heart of your family, the one who remembers birthdays, keeps old traditions alive, and holds everyone together when life gets chaotic. Maybe it is caring for a garden that feeds your neighbors, or writing poems no one else reads but you. Maybe it is volunteering once a week at the community center, or being that one trusted friend who always answers the phone when someone needs to cry. Purpose is not about recognition. It is about connection to what matters most to you. And when you are connected to that sense of meaning, you glow differently. You move through the world with direction, with calm, with confidence. People feel that, and they are drawn to it, because we are all searching for something real. And a woman who lives with purpose offers that grounding presence we often do not realize we need. Here is something else worth knowing. Having a strong sense of purpose is not just attractive, it is good for your health. Research shows that people with purpose tend to live longer, have lower rates of disease, and even recover faster from illness. Why? Because purpose gives you a reason to keep going. It helps you make sense of life's challenges and find meaning, even in the hard times. And as you grow older, your definition of purpose might shift. And that is a good thing. You are no longer chasing someone else's expectations. You're free to choose what truly matters to you. This stage of life is not about slowing down. It is about refining, choosing with care, letting go of what no longer serves you, and pouring your time and energy into what fills your soul. So if you ever feel adrift, start small. Ask yourself, what brings me peace? What makes me feel useful, even in quiet ways? Where do I feel most like myself? You do not need all the answers right away. Purpose is not a finish line. It is a rhythm, a practice, a promise you make to yourself each day, to live with heart, to care deeply, and to show up for your own life. And that kind of woman? She does not just attract others, she inspires them. 5. Grace in navigating life's changes. Life has a way of changing on us, sometimes slowly, like a tide coming in, and sometimes suddenly, like a storm we never saw coming. And if you have lived long enough, and I know you have, then you have faced your share of changes, some of them joyful, some of them painful, but all of them life-shaping. What sets you apart, what makes you radiant in a way that cannot be taught, is how you have handled those changes. With grace. Now, grace does not mean pretending everything is fine when it is not. It does not mean hiding your sadness or always having the right words or being perfectly put together. No, real grace is quieter than that. It shows up in your willingness to keep moving forward, even when the path looks different than you imagined. Grace is waking up in the morning after a loss and choosing to get dressed anyway. Grace is learning to laugh again after heartbreak. Grace is letting go of old roles, mother, wife, worker, and discovering new ways to be you. It is adjusting your routines when your body changes. It is opening yourself to new friendships when others fade away. It is saying, this chapter may not be what I planned, but I will still live it with dignity. And that strength, that ability to adapt without hardening, it is magnetic. Because most people are afraid of change. They resist it. They run from it. But you have learned to flow with it, to trust that life is still unfolding in meaningful ways, even when you do not understand it yet. You may not even realize how inspiring that is to others. Younger people watch you. They wonder how you carry loss, how you handle uncertainty, how you still find moments of joy in the middle of it all. You're teaching them, not by giving advice, but by being who you are. And let us be honest, sometimes change is hard, really hard. It brings grief. It brings fear. It can shake your confidence and make you feel like a stranger in your own life. But the fact that you are here right now, still listening, still learning, still showing up, that tells me everything I need to know. You have grace, you have resilience, and you have a quiet kind of beauty that only comes from living through what you thought might break you and standing up anyway. If you are going through a change right now, whether it is big or small, I want you to remember this. You are allowed to feel all of it. You're allowed to be uncertain, but also know you have already made it through so much, and you are stronger than you give yourself credit for. Keep going. With your head held high, your heart open, and your spirit steady. That grace you carry, it is not invisible. It lights up every room you walk into. 6. Confidence in your individuality. Let's take a moment to talk about something that might just be the most magnetic quality of all. Confidence. But not just any confidence. I'm talking about the kind that comes from embracing who you truly are, not trying to fit in, not chasing approval, just being you. You see, there's something truly captivating about a woman who is comfortable in her own skin. A woman who knows herself, not just on the surface, but deep down. A woman who no longer wastes time pretending to be someone she's not. That kind of confidence does not shout. It does not need to. It just is. And it grows stronger with age. Because when you've lived through decades of life, through love and loss, through triumph and disappointment, you start to realize what matters and what does not. You stop comparing yourself to others. You stop apologizing for your quirks, your preferences, your opinions. You start standing taller in your truth, even when others don't understand it. That's what makes you magnetic. People can feel when someone is being real. It's like a breath of fresh air. In a world full of noise and performance, a woman who simply shows up as herself, fully and unapologetically, is unforgettable. Your individuality is not something to hide. It is something to celebrate. The way you laugh, the stories you tell, the little things that make you you, your style, your humor, your values, your memories. These are the things that set you apart in the most beautiful way. And here is something important. Confidence in your individuality is not about never having doubts. It is not about thinking you are better than anyone else. It is about knowing that you are enough, exactly as you are. It is about recognizing your worth, not because someone else told you so, but because you believe it. And when you live from that place, you make different choices. You say yes to what nourishes you. You say no to what drains you. You walk away from what no longer fits and walk toward what lights you up. You stop shrinking. You stop second-guessing. You stop explaining yourself to people who were never really listening. Instead, you own your space. You speak your truth. You wear what makes you feel good. You surround yourself with people who lift you up, not weigh you down. That is confidence in action, and it's powerful. So today, I want to remind you, you don't need to be like anyone else to be beautiful. You don't need to look like your younger self. You don't need to keep up with trends or chase validation. You just need to be you. And the more you lean into that truth, the more others will feel it and be drawn to it. Because real beauty, it begins the moment you decide to stop hiding and start shining. 7. A genuine smile that comes from lived joy. There is something about a genuine smile that can stop you in your tracks. Not the kind of smile you put on for a photo. Not the polite smile you give out of habit. I am talking about a real smile, one that starts deep inside and makes its way to your eyes, the kind that carries memories, meaning, and a whole lot of life behind it. When a woman smiles like that, people feel it. And more than that, they remember it. You see, a genuine smile is not just about looking happy. It is about being connected to your own joy. even if it's quiet, even if it's been hard to find lately. That little flicker of warmth that still lives in you, it shows. And here's the beautiful thing. As you grow older, your smile carries more weight, not less, because it is backed by decades of experience. It says, I've been through things, I've cried, I've lost, I've struggled, but I haven't forgotten how to feel joy. That kind of smile is magnetic. It is not naive. It is resilient. It says, I still choose to see beauty. I still choose to hope. I still choose to open my heart. And people are drawn to that kind of light because they know it was hard-earned. There is even science behind it. When you smile, truly smile, your brain releases feel-good chemicals like serotonin and endorphins. They lift your mood, lower your stress, and help you feel more at peace. And when other people see that smile, their brains respond too. Smiling is contagious, and in the best way. So if you want to feel more connected, more alive, more attractive, try this. Find one thing each day that makes you smile. Just one. It could be a phone call with someone you love, a memory that makes you laugh, a favorite song playing while you make coffee, the way the light hits the trees outside your window. And when that smile comes, let it rise all the way to your eyes. Let it soften your face. Let it remind you of everything that is still good. You do not need perfect teeth or flawless skin to have a beautiful smile. You need presence. You need gratitude. You need the courage to still feel joy, even after all life has thrown at you. So the next time you catch your reflection, do not look for what is wrong. Look for your smile, because it is not just an expression. It is a reflection of everything you have survived and everything you still have to give. And that, my friend, is one of the most attractive things about you. 8. Confidence in your own skin. Let's finish with something deeply personal. Your body. Your skin. The way you see yourself when no one else is looking. We live in a world that constantly tells women they need to look younger, hide their age, fix their flaws, erase the years. But here's the truth. No magazine cover will ever print. You don't need to undo your age. You need to own it. Because confidence in your own skin is one of the most powerful magnetic things a woman can carry. And it has nothing to do with being flawless, and everything to do with being real. Look at your body. Think about what it has carried you through. Decades of laughter, tears, births, breakups, long days and sleepless nights. Heartache, joy, change, healing, growth. Your hands have held people. Your feet have walked through every season of life. Your skin, yes, the skin that may now have lines and soft spots and sun marks, has been with you through it all. That is not something to hide. That is something to honor. Those laugh lines, they mean you have lived, really lived. That silver hair, it is not something to die away in shame. It is a crown, a symbol of wisdom, of endurance, of beauty that no one can fake. Confidence in your skin does not mean you always feel glamorous. It means you have made peace with the woman in the mirror. It means you stand a little taller, because you are not waiting for permission to love yourself as you are. And you know what happens when you do that? People notice. They may not even know why, but they feel your presence, your power, your comfort with who you are. You stop shrinking. You stop apologizing. You start taking up space, not with loudness, but with quiet assurance. And that kind of confidence, it is rare, it is beautiful, and it makes you unforgettable. So here is what I want you to know. From one heart to another, you are not less because of your wrinkles. You are not past your prime because of your age. You're not invisible because someone else stopped looking. You're here. You are whole. And you are more radiant than ever. Wear what makes you feel alive. Speak the truth that lives in your heart. Show up in the world not to please others, but to reflect the strength, grace, and beauty that already lives within you. Because the most attractive thing about you is you, exactly as you are. A message from the heart. If you have stayed with me through this journey, through all 8 of these timeless, radiant qualities, I want to thank you, not just for watching, but for showing up for yourself today. Because this video was not just a list of tips, it was a reminder, a mirror held up to help you see the truth that maybe, just maybe, you've been too humble to recognize. You're magnetic. You're beautiful. Not despite your age, but because of it. Everything you've lived through, every joy, every loss, every lesson, it has shaped you into a woman who carries depth, wisdom, warmth, and quiet power. You are not invisible. You're not forgotten. You're not past your prime. You're standing in a chapter of life that holds so much richness, if you are willing to embrace it. The way you smile, the way you listen, the way you carry yourself with elegance and grace, these are the things people remember. These are the things that light up a room. These are the things that cannot be bought, copied, or manufactured, because they come only from living. So the next time you look in the mirror, I hope you see more than lines or gray hairs. I hope you see a woman who has loved deeply, who has walked through fire and come out stronger, who has stories worth telling and wisdom worth sharing. I hope you see someone beautifully whole, and most of all, I hope you walk into the rest of your day and the rest of your life, standing tall in that truth. Because the world needs women like you, women who live with purpose, with kindness, with curiosity, with confidence, women who choose joy, who carry elegance, who offer grace, women who are not trying to be younger, but who are proud of being exactly who they are. You, my friend, are one of them, and you are absolutely radiant.